Hey again, YouTube. Well, Anna for its glory took some screenshots of my videos, and she came up with this, and her husband know a little about Photoshop, and he managed to produce some pictures, and here's one of them, which is highly saturated. There's no question about we're looking at an atmosphere. You can see there is actually two shades of blue here. I don't really know what I'm supposed to look at right here in this frame, but one thing we can see here in this picture is that something is standing up from the surface, like the Arabella craters, and here is highly saturated again, and it's standing out quite clearly. So does the atmosphere. And here's another frame. Let me zoom in on it. And that was what I wanted the iFob to look at. There was actually something there. It's a little difficult to see, but there is something there. Something strange. And again here, you clearly see on this frame that we have something that looks like small lakes. We also have something that clearly looks like vegetation. Got another lake up here in this area, and of course we got what is looking like an atmosphere. These pictures is from that video, and this is my little dragon I was talking about with the horns and the wings, or moth, whatever, something like it, in this peculiar picture. But I actually sat down and took all 45 minutes today and looking through that video I put together, because after seeing what she showed me, I was going on the hunt. And as you see, I had some problems. YouTube decided to claim copyright of my own production, my own equipment, my own telescope, which I find is highly peculiar. So I took some pictures of the video itself, and you can clearly see that we got what looks like an atmosphere. We got the crater here, which is not a crater, it is standing above the surface. We got a tower there. We also got a tower here. It is very clear. And next frame, pretty much the same. And this one too, where the frame goes over to become light. The atmosphere is still present. We got a clear indication of that this is not a crater. We got a clear indication of that there is something here that looks like, I don't know, tuning fork. You can clearly see the topography of the moon. You can see what looks to be water. You can see what looks over here to be vegetation. It is green. It could be trees. It could be low vegetation bushes. And we got another one here that clearly shows that there is absolutely something here. It's just a few snapshots I took, just to illustrate that whatever you've been told by NASA and whatever NASA is showing you is a lie. There's no error on my camera, there's no error on my telescope, and I intend to prove this in a moment. And here again, we got some bluish. We got some bluish sitting right here, as you see. We got something that kind of looks like, yeah, I don't know, it kind of looks like it's foggy right up there in this frame. Let's zoom in a little, that might help it. As you see, it looks like there's something blocking, and yet you can see through it. And one thing I did notice, I don't know if that picture will show up now. Yeah, here it is. You see here, we got a clear transition between something which is green, which could be vegetation, and then we got a clear line that separates, which is blue, and then we got brown, we got gray, we got craters which is not craters but in reality bumps. It's very clear. We also have here the same frame, and as you can see here, here's a line right here, a distinct line. If this was an error on my telescope, my lens, my webcam, this would not appear like that as a sharp line and then it ends at the border of whatever we're looking at. Next frame will show the same, but just a few seconds later. We got a horseshoe here. Again, we still have the green, we still have the blue, we still have the brown, we still have the gray. And just look at these gigantic whatever boulders you want to call them. And here too. Out here. And let's take the next frame. It's a few seconds later. Because I want to show you it is not my apparatus which is having a fault. This goes again. It divides right there. You can see the brown, and then here's blue. It has a distinct dividing line, and my telescope wouldn't produce that, and my camera wouldn't produce that either, and my eyepiece neither. Again, we see it as green, blue, brown, gray, gray, and still we have these gigantic boulders which is actually looking like giant squares, cubes. And then a top picture of the moon, and as you can see here again, we have what looks like atmosphere. And there will be signs in the moon, in the sun, in the stars, and in Earth. Correct? And maybe that is what is NASA and the so-called geoengineering people are trying to obscure from us, and that is that we won't be able to see those signs that we've been told will appear in the end of days. The signs are now. I still believe that the moon is not a dead planet. I don't call it a moon, I call it a planet. There's life on it. There's vegetation on it. You look at this so-called crater, that is the one that is on the southern hemisphere on the moon. You can clearly see this is sticking up from the surface. It's not a depression. There's something in the center of this so-called crater. Whatever it is, I don't know. I won't speculate in what it is. And again, we got in the perimeter here greenish. We got some reddish tint right here. We also got some bluish. And it's not related to the equipment. If you look at all my moon videos, you will see, and also with the use of another eyepiece before I got kind of professional on it, that the colors are there. And you gotta wonder what these things are sitting on the surface here. These structures. And again here, the arches, they come in threes. There's a system to this. And again, the crater, and it is still very peculiar. You can kind of see how far in the video I am, approximately 15 minutes, and I need to myself check how many minutes I've spent so I don't spend too much. Okay, I got 6 minutes left, and we want to minimize that for a second. We don't want to look at that. And again, the Array Star crater, the blue, the atmosphere, the greenish tint. And we will jump on to the next frame. And as you see here, we got blue, we got green, mixed in between each other, all the way up and in over the surface of the moon. And another thing I didn't notice when I was recording this, again we got the blue, again we got features standing on top of the surface of the moon. It's not depressions. But something I did not pay attention to when I was recording this, and that is we have a blue light in the middle of pretty much nowhere, and all back from the from Galileo's time they were talking about luminosities on the moon's surface, and it was quite crazy for people to listen to stuff like that. But again, we see it around here. We see colors, we see a lot of colors, and again we see this blue color, the greenish down here in the bottom, brown, and again the division between, just to show that it's not the equipment which is having an error. And again we've got here green, and this is unedited. This is raw screenshots of the video itself. The link for the video is underneath, and I suggest that all of you ship this to your friends and family, whatever. I'm not in the business of creating viewers and popularity. I'm just here to show you and tell you the truth. There's more to the moon that meets the eye. And what are you being told by the media? We also got something here that kind of looks like we got a mist, a fog, that kind of have the same pattern as we see here on planet Earth, like chemtrails. I don't know if this is the case, but it definitely looked like it. And as you see here, again we got the greenish, and we got a clear distinct division between blue and green, and that cannot relate to a problem with the equipment. This is what the camera is picking up. It's picking up colors you wouldn't see with the naked eye. And again, you see it, this greenish, this bluish, and you see this mist over the so-called ocean, Mars. And here, again, you see the crater sticking up. It's not a crater, it's a dome. And again, you see the bluish. There's something bluish right there, and greenish. And next frame, the same. Blue and green, brown, gray. We see again the atmosphere over here. Clearly, we see the colors, blue, brown, and gray. So it pretty much doesn't matter which part of the moon you're looking at. And again here, it looks like you're looking through an atmosphere. It looks like a picture of planet Earth actually taken from the space station. You see this fuzziness. You see the clear distinct line between the space and the moon, or could be the Earth. Atmosphere, and this hazy outlook it got. And that is equivalent to the same as looking at Earth from space, from the space station down through the atmosphere. You get this haziness. Here we got a distinct kind of reflection. This is looks like a very I don't know, glass-like. I say in the video it looks like a fish, stingray. And we actually done. I thought I had these luminosities which were right in the middle of the picture. Did I miss that? Let's go back. It's not there, it was on the bottom. We were looking. I don't know if I get it. It was actually down in this area here. I was looking. Let me see. If I totally blew it. Where is it? Huh. But you see the colors. There's no debate. There are colors. There is what appears to be an atmosphere. There is what appear to be ocean. There is what to be appearing to be vegetation. There is what to appear to be structures on the surface of the moon. Let me check my time. Actually, it's very faint. It is in this region. I saw it. Where the heck did it go, that picture? That is strange. Hey, I missed it. There. Right there. Blue. right there, in the middle of nowhere pretty much. Blue. There it is. Shining, bright blue. Baby blue color. In the middle of, you know, nowhere, right? Well, time is up. Show this to everybody you know and lead them over, and they will have a field trip knowing the truth about the moon. God bless you.